David Priest, the Metal Priest. We're here with Richard Lynch of the world famous, internationally known band Saint. They're legends in their own right.
How's everybody doing?
Everybody's doing great.
Well, what's going on?
We're here in Versailles, Ohio at the Immortal Fest 2023, Part 2, the classic. How do you feel about being referred to as a classic?
Well, you know, I don't mind because we're at this particular show, we're going to play a lot of classics, even though we have like 3 new albums. Well, actually, the new album isn't out yet.
The new album.
The new album.
You're already working on another one.
It's already pretty much done.
Well, you guys have been busy.
Oh yeah, we don't stop.
Suddenly, it just like, because there was a lull there for a while. There was a whole lot of like uncertainty.
Well, what was going on with that is we were kind of having issues, singer issues. Mm-hmm. So Josh kind of left the situation, and then we got Brian Miller in brought us the gate, and he did a great job, but then he left the situation. And so we were kind of like looking for a singer that would fit with what we're doing. And in comes Dave Nelson. Jerry Johnson goes, hey, let's go listen to this guy. I think he's great. He's a great showman, and he is a great showman, and he's a great singer for sure. Super nice guy. But I started working with him. He did the Calf album,
which was phenomenal, by the way.
Right, but you know he was happy with it. But he's happier when he gets to write. You know, he's a writer. Okay. You know, the thing with Saint is there's like 4 of us that write songs. So, I mean, we have a lot of material. You know, and so we kind of pick the best of the best songs that we write and chuck the rest, or put them on the sideline and maybe work on them later, right?
I would hope that you put some work into it, not just throw anything out there.
Right.
Some bands do that.
But back to your question about the classic thing, you know.
So you prefer classic or vintage?
Well, we're kind of, either or, but we're kind of a classic band, but we're also kind of a new band.
Yeah, so not antiques then.
Right.
You're not rusty yet.
Well, I'm pretty antique.
So I mean, obviously most people know the band from Josh being the vocalist.
Right.
And you're the only original member now, right?
I am.
So, and you've kept the name. I mean, was there ever a time where you thought maybe you should just start a new band and call it something different?
I don't know. You know, I don't know what people are thinking when, I don't.
Do you care?
I don't really care. You know, I mean, any given day, a football team will change its team members. And nobody cares. The Kansas City Chiefs are still the Kansas City Chiefs, and you know, whoever your favorite football team, they're still that team.
Right. No matter what they call them.
No matter what players are playing, and it's kind of how I see the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've pretty much stayed true to the Saint genre. You know what we do. The guys, you know, like Matt Smith came in, and he was a big Saint fan. You know, back in the 80s. Right. You know, so for him, I mean, he told me, because this is a dream come true. He not only gets to play in his favorite band, you know, but he was a fan forever.
That helps. I mean, if you can get somebody that's already a fan that's ready to go with it, you know, then that's half the battle, I think.
Right, and he kind of just, you know, he writes in the same vein. You know, what would I write? Is what he says. You know, and so he writes, and Jerry writes a little differently. He's kind of just got his own unique style, but it's cool because it adds variety to the album. You know, Jared once told me, he goes, no Saint album sounds exactly the same.
Which is good, unless you're AC/DC.
Well, yeah, or Boston. But yeah, so that's kind of where we land right now.
Very cool, very cool.
It's been good.
Do you feel that the fans have embraced this new chapter? I mean, you got another album, and you said it's done, it's in the can, you guys just haven't released it. I mean, well, that's 3 in a row.
It needs to be re-recorded. We have all the pre-production work done.
Okay.
You know, and so after we play with Quiet Riot at the end of this month, then it's going to be bam. We're gonna start hitting it, and it's a good time to do it because it's the winter months. You know.
Now that's another band that's Quiet Riot. I mean, they keep going and like
they don't have original members.
I think
they didn't have original.
I think Rudy's the only original member now. Well, he's not even original.
No.
Yeah, it's like when they keep going on.
No,
And people are buying tickets and going to see it, so I mean.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't they? You know, they're all professionals. And
Yeah,
who doesn't
sounds
want to?
good.
Who doesn't want to watch Rudy? I mean,
This is true.
he's cut. I probably stole some of his moves.
I was gonna say,
Maybe.
was he an influence on you in some way?
Maybe.
You're not gonna fanboy out when you see him, right?
No, I don't think that he would care for that. And I've met a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a sound engineer, and I met Matthew Ward way back in the late '70s,
Okay.
and I was a stage engineer back then. So I got to meet a lot of people throughout the time, and the people are just people. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, some people pump gas good, some people write music good, but you know, it's all the same.
So have you settled on a name for the album? You gonna give us a
Maybe we're gonna
anything?
play a cut off of it tonight,
Okay.
called "Salt in the Wound."
So, oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, it is, and it's about the salty blood of
Makes
Christ.
me cringe just thinking about it. Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool.
See, that's the salt, the blood of Christ, because what is blood? It's, what is it, 80% sodium, salt.
Yeah.
And what happens when that blood gets into the wound? You get healed.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so and that's how Dave writes. It's you know, he doesn't spoon feed. He used to yell at me because I did a lot of spoon feeding with lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, he wants people to think for themselves and figure it out. You know, to try to make the song a little bit more interesting.
You know, obviously, it's no, people, I mean, we know what you're about, obviously, Jesus, right? I mean,
Right.
this is the thing. But this is not a popular thing. Or not that it ever has been, but I mean, it's kind of, for a while it went away and people really wanted to water their lyrics down and, you know, this whole, the whole, we're not a Christian band, we're Christians in a band.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do that. You know, I don't know why people would be afraid, you know, of saying that they're a Christian. I mean, I think everybody should be a Christian. You would be a fool not to be.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Fool said in his heart,
hell,
there's no gods.
hell, heaven. I mean, there's your choice.
Yeah. I mean, but there's a lot of people out there that don't even realize that that Christian metal exists. I've run into them all the time. They're like, people I work with, and they're like, Dave says he's this, Christian guy, but man, I listen to all that stuff that he's listening to, and like one of my other coworkers like, yeah, it's all about Jesus, though. If you listen to the lyrics, and they're like, what? There's no way. But,
Right.
but then there's you guys. I mean, and obviously the look, you're growing the do again. But it's an impressive, you got the BC Rich, that Warlock, just always
It's a
looks-
beast.
It's a beast.
Well, it is. It's a BC Rich beast.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
there you go. But it's just so metal looking.
Yeah, it's
And I
my
mean,
favorite. It's my favorite guitar.
That image, that's there. And of course, I mean, early on you guys had the, people would compare you to Judas Priest, which, I mean, you could see influences.
They were a big influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted something or some interview. I doubt he would ever admit that they're heavily influenced by Judas Priest. No, I totally admit that. I mean, we basically totally ripped off their style. I mean, back in the 80s, yes. We don't so much sound like them as much anymore. I mean,
Found your own.
We've kind of found our own thing, but the early days, yeah. John Mahan and I used to drive around in the car and Judasize ourselves.
Wow.
So,
So you guys have played
Unleashed
a
in
lot
the East
more.
came out, and yeah, we did it. We played it over and over again, and it was those guys that we kind of figured out. Ian Hill played a lot of pedal tones with the bass, and that's what makes it so heavy.
Right.
It's just writing that E. It's simple. Well, it's not as simple as it looks, really, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, you guys are playing a lot more. Probably more than you have in years.
Yeah.
What's next after Immortal Fest?
On the 29th, we're coming back.
Besides Play Right.
Okay. Well, we're going to start focus.
When are you playing California again?
I don't know. I have no answers. I've heard rumors of things.
I know everybody's trying to work on it, and it's rough going. But
Right, but it's expensive. Doing these shows it's super expensive. So that's what makes it tough. I suppose if you could do it in a row, but most of my guys, we all have regular jobs, and so getting away is tough.
Yeah.
Well, not for me, I work for the state of Oregon, so
Okay.
I get away a lot, because I was fortunate enough to get that type of position, but the other guys, they don't get away so much. So, that's,
Well, I'm there if you guys manage to get to California, because that's where we're from. We had to come all this way. It was worth it just to see you guys. And looking forward to this new album, man. I'm excited to hear that it's happening, and thank you for hanging out and giving us a little bit of your time. And
you bet.
look forward to the show. And it's going to be good.
All right.
Metal Priest, Richard Lynch.
Saint Metal Priest.
God bless everyone.